Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off talking about Windows emulation on Android with Winlator, and Winlator just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, Winlator version 7.0 is the latest update, and this update is pretty big. They've updated Wine, they've updated Box8664, they've updated Mesa Turnip drivers, they've improved X input stability, they've improved input controls, they've improved the task manager, they've improved container settings, they've added experimental WoW64 mode, they've added VKD3D, they've fixed the intro videos for Resident Evil 5 Lost Planet and others, and we've got performance improvements and other fixes. Winlator is 100% free, it's available on GitHub and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. And let me know your thoughts about Winlator in the comments below. How do you like it compared with something like Mobox? Next up, this one's a quick one but an interesting one. Someone has ported Double Dragon on the NES to the SNES. They say it's got MSU1 tracks, a sick intro video, and a jump button. There's a few minor screen flashes as tiles load, a couple places where tiles can load in the wrong palette. But overall, they're very happy with it. If you are curious about this one and wanted to learn more about it, it's up on archive.org and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. They say it's been tested in Mezen 2, BSNES accurate, and on original hardware. Next up, we're quickly talking about the Xbox One, and it appears there may be a software-based kernel exploit on the horizon that may get patched out soon. If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link to Modded Warfare's YouTube video in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. And I'll drop a link to this Xbox One Research GitHub.io page in the description below as well. Additionally, if YouTube Shorts are your thing, I'll drop a link to this YouTube short from Easy on the Eyes in the description below. So the overall sentiment here seems that Xbox One modders are getting their Xbox ready for this much anticipated exploit. And on a quick side note here, one of the people behind exploiting the exploit says this is not a jailbreak. System OS is the virtual machine where apps run. It is the environment you get control over when you enable dev mode on your console. This exploit will allow full control over this VM homebrew on retail consoles without dev mode. It will not allow piracy. And speaking about Xbox, next up we're talking about the much rumored Xbox Handheld. Now, a lot of people were expecting this handheld to be showcased during the Xbox Game Showcase, but unfortunately that did not happen. However, Phil Spencer almost confirmed the Xbox handheld. I'll drop a link to this 2-minute and 18-second clip in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. Phil Spencer basically says he thinks they should have an Xbox handheld, and also to ask Sarah Bond about it. And also says being able to play offline, something like the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally or Lenovo Legion Go is the way to go. So hopefully Xbox is getting a handheld, and hopefully it's not just going to be a cloud-based console. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Would you be excited about an Xbox handheld, and what would you want to see in it? And speaking about gaming handhelds and the Steam Deck, next up we're talking about Steam. And Steam has just started the Next Fest from June 10th to the 17th. There's a whole bunch of demos available to check out. If you use Steam, I recommend heading to Steam and checking out some of these demos. You may find your next favorite game. One of the games I'm interested in checking out is Old School Rally. There's a brand new demo for this game, and they say they're hosting an online community racing competition with real prizes. If you are curious about this one and wanted to learn more about it, I'll drop a link to the announcement in the description below. As for the prizes here, there's a cash prize for each single track. So they say for first place for the best time on a track, you get $20 USD Steam card. Second place gets $10 and third place also gets $10. In addition to all of that, if you're not good enough for a top 3 time, they say for every 10 valid submissions, one participant will be randomly drawn to receive a $5 USD Steam gift card. Next up, we're talking about the iPhone, and if you've got an iPhone running iOS 18, you might be excited to know that it's getting a brand new game mode. It makes the phone faster and more responsive. This new feature was announced over at WWDC 24, which stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or Apple Worldwide Developer Conference 2024, depending on how you want to interpret that. They say here that game mode minimizes your iPhone's background activity so it can sustain consistently high frame rates even after hours of play. It massively reduces latency when using a Bluetooth game controller. and similarly reduces latency when using AirPods for audio. From my understanding, game mode is enabled automatically. There is no toggle for it, and I'm wondering whether or not emulators will be able to utilize this technology. If so, it may help out emulator performance, especially with the lack of JIT. And on a side note here, yes, game mode is already available for Android. It's been available for a while. iPhone is a little bit late to the party on this one as per usual. Moving on, and next up here is just a friendly heads up. If you've got a laptop with Linux on it and you've got an NVIDIA GPU, you may want to avoid the NVIDIA Driver 550. There are a lot of reports out there that the Series 550 driver just randomly freezes your laptop, and if this is happening to you, just either downgrade or upgrade to the beta. So the beta right now is version 555. In my opinion, I'd probably just downgrade instead, but you're free to do what you want. Next up, we're talking about a brand new ROM hack over on ROMhacking.net that kind of transforms a game. It's called Super Koopa RPG. Here comes the Koopa Bros. It is for Super Mario RPG for the SNES. They say here the 5 playable characters have been replaced by the Koopa Bros and a reluctant 5th member. There's new levels, new events and scripts, new story and dialogues, custom sprites including allies, enemies, and weapons, custom animations, new items and equipment, collectibles and extras, and a whole bunch more. If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link to it in the description below and feel free to check it out. Next up, this one's a quick one. We're talking about GameStop. And GameStop may have just accidentally leaked the Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater release date. So here is their deleted tweet. It says it's coming November 17th. Unfortunately, the bit.ly link in that tweet brings you to this page here, where it says the placeholder release date is December 31st, 2025. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Do you think they accidentally leaked the release date? Next up, we're quickly talking about Modern Vintage Gamer, and MVG has just put out a video called Nintendo is Erasing Its History, The War Against ROMs. This video is about 14 minutes long. I'll drop a link to it in the description below. Now in this video, MVG goes into detail about Love ROMs, Vim's Lair, the exemption that archive.org currently has, and even more. It may be worth checking out. Additionally, Video Game Esoterica has just put out a video analyzing the DMCA that just hit Vim's Lair. Interestingly, MVG and Video Game Esoterica both have speculated that it may have been because of emulators on the iPhone that triggered Nintendo's attention towards Vim's Lair. I mean, there were a number of TikToks from people showing how to download games like Pokemon and then play them on the iPhone. But last up here, we're talking about PlayStation 4 emulation with psOff, and psOff has just got a brand new advanced launcher. It's up on GitHub, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. So this advanced launcher currently has multiple game directory support with deep scanning, automatic updates for emulator releases and nightly builds. That might be very handy. List filtering by title name ID, game's background music, trophy system, controllers and keybind configuration, and audio device selection. And as for what's upcoming here, gamepad control support and custom themes. At the time of filming, version 0.1, codenamed Useless Cake, has just dropped, and it is 148 megabytes. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.